Good afternoon, everybody. I can see our attendee list just starting to grow now, so we'll just wait for a number of people to join the webinar before we get going into full flow. It's a popular webinar today. Several hundred people signed up for this, and it's good to see interest in the Costa Blanca. So, my name is Andy Bridge. This is another webinar from A Place in the Sun as part of our month-long digital event. Today, we're whisking you off on a property tour of the South Costa Blanca region with local estate agent Mark Rawlings of Your Dream Home, who will be our tour guide and agent throughout today's proceedings. Mark, hello, how are you today?
Yeah, very good, thank you, Andy.
Yeah, and what's your story? Everybody's on a journey these days. What took you to Spain and how long have you been there?
Well, my journey started about 17 years ago when I bought a property in Almeria as an investment, and then I decided to move there 2 years later, 15 years ago. So I lived in Almeria for 2 years, and then I moved down to the Costa del Sol, which I knew really well because my wife's parents had a house down here for 40 years. And then I started Your Dream Home. So I started Your Dream Home at the time, at the top of just as the market was turning. So, and then 13 years later, we have two offices, one in the Costa del Sol, one in the Costa Blanca, Costa Calida region. Employ around about 50 people, and yeah, sell properties from both coastlines really.
And is it predominantly British buyers that you deal with? That's a regular influx of interest for you?
Our market is around about 60%, 65% British buyers, and followed by Scandinavians, French, but the UK market is certainly the biggest market, and yeah, for sure.
And earlier when we were speaking in advance of this starting, you mentioned a new term for me, a COVID contract. That's keeping you busy at the moment. Do you just want to explain what that is for the benefit of our audience? We're living through difficult times and we're all coming up with innovative practices, and this sounds like one such feature.
Yeah, I mean, the market certainly hasn't stopped. You know, the market is very, very buoyant. It started the year incredibly buoyant and it's continued going. What we found is that the interest is still there and clients still want to buy. So we've gone to a lot of the leading developers and some of the big leading investment funds and asked for what we can put forward. So we've managed to negotiate something called a COVID contract, which basically allows clients, we do a video of the properties, it allows them to reserve that particular property, pay a deposit, and then they can, once the quarantine is lifted, they have 14 days to come and view the property, and it's subject to viewing. So if they turn up and see the property and they're not happy with it, they get their deposit back, the contract is cancelled. So it's proving really, really popular in the last few days, even more so. So
that's a no quibble, no questions asked. If you get out there after quarantine and you don't like it for whatever reason, deposit back.
Basically, we have a no-brainer. You know, if people are coming, they turn up. You know, we would tour the client and show the client not just that product, but obviously all different the areas and different apartments, houses, whatever it may be. So yeah, it's the banks are very keen to do it. A lot of developers are keen to do it. And it just means that you can tie in that particular property. We've also had some resale properties, some private vendors allowing us to do it. So, and some clients are obviously traveling even though quarantine is in place. You know, people are coming. We've got a client coming on Monday. He's done this contract, but he's now saying, listen, I'm just going to come because I want to move things forward. He's not working at the moment anyway because of the situation.
And typically what sort of deposit, what level of deposit would you require for something like that?
So predominantly it's a €3,000 deposit. So again, it's such a, you know, it's not like some of the developers are looking for €10,000 deposit, some of the big developers, but the ones that we're focusing on tend to be €3,000.
Okay, well that is interesting. And you referenced virtual tours there as well. That's something that's sprung up during this coronavirus time, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're not, so our virtual tours are very raw. We don't send out professional film crews, as you'll see, but we take people around them and spend as much time in and see everything that you would see if you was there in person. So, I mean, I did one for somebody a few weeks ago, and we physically walked from the local bars down to the apartment so they could see how far it was to walk. And they followed us step by step. So again, last week I was in Denver doing a guy who's going to travel this week, and again just wanted to see the development, and we did a virtual tour of development, and now they're coming out.
And I've seen the films, of course, in advance of today's session. Do you think Johnny Irwin and Jasmine need to worry about their future work?
I think Johnny needs to find a new career now, Andy. I'm hot on his tail.
You're going to get yourself an agent and a floral dress, and you'll be out there pitching for business on A Place in the Sun. Is that right?
I don't think they've got too much competition, to be fair.
Right. Okay. Let's get on with business today. So, the Southern Costa Blanca region. Just talk us through its enduring appeal and its popularity, not only with British buyers, but with a number of international communities.
The Southern Costa Blanca has some household names. The most famous, would say, is Torrevieja. Located on a seaside town that has been there for many years and is very popular with all nationalities. Going behind there, you go to, again, popular places like Quesada. And then you come down the coastline, so you have the Orihuela coastline, where our office is in a place called Playa Flamenca. And again, household names, Villamartin, Cabarroy, a very popular destination. So one of the properties we're going to see is in Villamartin, so very close, like a 10-minute walk. Well, the property's about a 5-minute walk to the bars and restaurants. It's about maybe a 20-minute walk down to the coast. La Zenia Boulevard came to life a few years ago as a really high-end outdoor open-air shopping centre, bars, restaurants, everything on site there. Going further down towards, when you get to San Pedro de Pinatar, then you change into the Costa Calida, but you wouldn't know you've changed from Alicante into Murcia, to be fair.
And when we talk about the Costa Blanca, then what we're sort of talking from what, from Denia up in the north here, all the way down to here.
How many changes? So you do northern Costa Blanca, so from Denia down to Alicante City and down to Santa Pola. Certainly Denia, Calpe, Altea is some beautiful villas located in the mountains with spectacular views. The northern Costa Blanca is a lot more expensive as a region than the southern. It's a lot greener. It has the mountains, which the southern Costa Blanca is very flat, which makes it great accessibility for all different ages. So Denia and around there is more expensive in the north. Coming down below Benidorm, and as I say, down to Alicante is really where it changes. So below Alicante, you really start at a place called Guadamar, and then coming down to La Mata just before Torrevieja on the coastline. La Mata, again, beautiful town, beachfront town just outside of Torrevieja. However, it is very quiet in the winter months. It's a typical Spanish holiday destination, but in the winter months it gets very quiet, whereas Torrevieja is a working city, it's a working town, it's popular all year round. And coming down there, as I say, to Cabarroy, on the more or less the furthest part south of Orihuela Costa. Again, Cabarroy, the Cabarroy Strip has 50 or 60 bars, famous for its St. Patrick's Day parade down there, very busy area. And then, as I say, coming in, you've got Campoamor and different places. Okay.
And people will be familiar with the main access point of Alicante Airport. That's a very well-served airport in more normal times, isn't it?
Alicante is a fantastic international airport. There's a public transport that takes you from Alicante down to the bus station in Torrevieja. I think it's about €7 for the bus coming down. And again, there's different buses which stop on the way. Or it's around about 45-minute drive. And then not forgetting also, we have the new international airport in Corvera, just outside Murcia, which again, is sort of like, again, Orihuela Costa, where on the southern part of the Costa Blanca, we're more or less in the middle of the two. So again, it's more or less about 45 minutes from Corvera to Orihuela Costa, and the same for Alicante.
And that's that only opened up relatively recently. That's kind of opened up in turn the area in the southern Costa Blanca and further south to Costa Calida. Is that right?
That's right. So we had San Javier, which was the other local airport on the Mar Menor. That was a military airport. Still is a military airport. That closed. It'll be 2 years in January. And Corvette opened, which again is a fantastic brand new airport. The leading carriers, Jet2, Ryanair, EasyJet, etc., was flying into there. Obviously, in the current situation, flights are limited, but flights are still coming in there daily as they are into Alicante.
Okay, and typical profile of a buyer that knocks on your virtual door or inquires on a property, what sort of budget, what sort of aspirations do they have?
I think we have, one thing I would say about the Costa Blanca as opposed to, say, the Costa del Sol, is there's an awful lot of people who make the move permanently to move to the Costa Blanca. So around the Quesada area, around Torrevieja, around Terrasses and places like that, there's a lot of permanent living people there. So there's a huge population, expat population living there. So there's a lot of people who are selling up completely and moving out of here, retiring, or to start a new life. But then again, because of the facilities and the easy access, there's a lot of people also for second homes. So predominantly in Torrevieja, you can still buy a 1-2 bedroom property for as little as 75,000 euros. Going upwards, and again coming down to the Oliva Costa, you can still buy property for 80,000 euros plus. Even places in the Caraboy Strip, you can still get properties for just over 100,000 euros, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, walking distance to everything.
Okay, and right, let's move on to the properties that we're going to look at today. It's 2 properties, one fewer than the advertised number. So the first one, Mark, is in Villamartin. Tell us a little bit about that area, if you would.
So Villamartin is, as I say, it's about, I don't know, maybe a 20-minute walk down to the coastline. It's you come in from the coast and then you go to La Zenia Boulevard, which, as I say, is a big outdoor shopping area, and then you have Villamartin. Villamartin is a lovely plaza there where you have live music in the summer, lots of different bars and restaurants, a fantastic golf course. And then you have properties situated all around the area. So again, very, very popular with expats, very well known. There's a famous restaurant there which is owned by one of the guys from The Only Way is Essex, I can't remember his name now, Mark Elliott, cousin or something. But again, a very popular area, a well-known area.
Okay, great. And just before we run this film then of the first property, I should mention to everybody out there that do feel free to ask us questions. There is a Q&A button on your screen, either at the top or bottom of your device, whatever you're using. So that's what we're here for. Feel free to send in your questions and we'll do our best to answer them as we move through the session. So Mark, let's kick off with this first one. So this is what, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom. What price is this one?
This is a fantastic development. This is a development which was actually built, I guess, around about 10, 15 years ago. And then last year they did a second phase. So second phase has just been completed. So that we have actually some key ready properties available here. And then they are also now under construction, a third phase. So there's going to be, again, around about another 40 properties under construction starting this month. This is walking distance to the bars and restaurants, as I say. Brand new, very high quality, great qualities, great space. My videos, I'm not Steven Spielberg, so the videos are real. I'm happy to do further videos or live videos for people if they want to see it in further details.
Okay, let's take a look.
These fantastic 2-bedroom properties located in just a short walk away from the plaza in Villamartin. Brand new. These are ready to move into. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. qualities here are fantastic. Nice high gloss white kitchens, granite worktops, nice breakfast bar leading to the outside terrace. We'll go out there in a moment. So here you have the living area. Leading out to the garden, and this is the second bedroom. Okay, let's take a look at the master bedroom. Okay, nice high ceilings, built-in fitted wardrobes. Built-in drawers. And then you have the ensuite bathroom.
Does this property come furnished, Mark?
Walk-in shower.
A typical furniture pack which is available from the local furniture companies, which we can help and advise clients with.
And then we have the guest bathroom. And let's take a look at this fantastic terrace. This is a ground floor, so we have ground floors, first and second floors, and then penthouses with big solariums. Incredible prices. Prices starting from 159,000 euros. Nice covered terrace for dining, and then a really nice large garden area. You see the sizes, it's maybe 50, 60 square metre terrace, absolutely fantastic. And it's so peaceful here. But as I say, literally 5 minutes walk and you're in where the bars and restaurants are. Right, let's go see the pool. Fantastic pool area here with lots of seating areas and the sun umbrellas there. The sunbeds around. You've got the chairs in the swimming pool as well to sit there and relax. And then the apartment's just here. This is the local shopping area just close by Villamartin. Absolutely fantastic. Bars, restaurants. Hi, we're in Villamartin now on your.
Thank you, Mark. That's you've got a future in the cinema industry. Absolutely. And so that's what, 159,000 euros. So we're talking 140 something thousand pounds.
Yeah, so what, just over 140,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So obviously the closing costs will be around about 13%.
13% on that. So that would be various taxes, sort of the equivalent of stamp duty, local taxes, lawyers' fees.
In Alicante, the taxes in Alicante on that property are, well, it's a new build property, so it's VAT, but the tax is predominantly at 10%. And a lawyer, on an average, a lawyer charges around about 1,600 euros to do all the conveyancing fees. And then you've got your land registry and notary fees.
Okay. Barbara Spittle is asking, is there a reliable bus service in the area? Well, it's walking distance from the bars, you said 5 minutes. What about connections to the airports?
Yeah, I mean, connections to the airport, I mean, to get a direct bus to the airport, you would go down to Torrevieja, but you can get a bus down to Torrevieja. There's a shuttle service that comes around Villamartin. So you can get buses back down to the coastline. Again, I mean, public transport and taxis in Spain are very, very cost effective. You know, a taxi down to Torrevieja is probably just over 10 euros.
Okay. And somebody here wants to know if the pool's heated in winter. It's not.
Most pools in Spain are not heated, in fairness. you get the odd development that has an indoor pool areas, but most pools are not heated.
And Siobhan Roach asks how far the complex is from the beach. How long would it take you to walk to the beach?
I'm not saying the beach is around about 20-minute walk down to the coastline.
Okay. And it might just be worth explaining about this point, the idea of community and community fees. This is obviously on a development. There's a pool, there's communal gardens, and there's various costs associated with the maintenance of that. How does that work in Spain typically?
So in Spain, all our property is freehold. We don't have any property particularly that's leasehold. So you're buying these apartments freehold, but like in the UK, you would have a service charge to pay. That monthly service charge includes things like the cleaning of the communal areas, the maintenance of the building on the outside, the cleaning of the swimming pools, the gardens, etc. Service contracts on the lifts and things. And typically, community fees can range from as little as €30 a month up to €100 a month, depending on the facilities and the size of the complex.
And it's Nick Stevens specifically asking, do you know what the fees are per month in that complex, roughly?
We do the fees in that complex are over €60 a month from memory.
€60 a month. Okay, and that covers all those communal areas and the pool and maintenance. And the people who are buying there, are they typically holiday homers, or will there be some people living there year round? That's a question from Mr. Anonymous.
No, typically in the areas, generally the people live there permanently. So there's a good mixture of people living there as holiday homes and also people living there permanently.
Okay, Steve McMahon was asking about communal fees, as was Susie Chisholm as well. Somebody's asking about wheelchair access in a development like that. I guess you'd be looking more at a ground floor apartment. Was that one ground floor, remind me?
That one was ground floor, and again, easy accessible in a wheelchair, and also can easily be adapted if so. I mean, all the bathrooms in there have got walk-in showers, so again, can be adapted.
Okay. And PK McWarner is asking, if I was looking to rent this out, would it rent through the low season or only in the summer months, really? What's a realistic rental yield on that type of property?
We do rentals. We're one of the few companies actually buy and sell and rent properties. So we manage around about 250 rental properties. And because of its situation, its proximity to the bars and restaurants, proximity to the golf, then you would get all year round rentals. You're not going to get 52 weeks of the year rentals. June, July, and August, you would rent constantly those 3 months for those 12 weeks. Realistically, you could get 26 to 28 weeks quite easily on that property, and rental as little as, or from around about probably €300 off peak up to €700 peak season per week.
300 per week and up to 700 per week for peak. Okay. A couple of people have asked this question. It would definitely throw me. It might throw you. They might need to contact you directly. This time it's from Tracy Hayes. What's the meterage in square feet of the condo? Do you know that off the top of your head, or should they just get in touch with you?
What is it? 3.3 meters to...
Yeah, okay. Let's not show up our mathematical inability live on a webinar with a few hundred people watching in. Again, Barbara asks about management companies, but that's the sort of thing that you do?
So predominantly, most companies will charge you between 20 and 25% as a management fee. We actually only charge 15% because we only look after properties that we've sold, and then you've got cleaning and laundry costs on top of that. But happy to talk to people about that individually.
Okay. Jane Cooper is asking a question I don't know if you'd have experience of. Do you know what the sound levels are like between the apartments?
I mean, the quality now in comparison to 20 years ago is totally different. So they have to be insulated, the walls, they have, soundproofing is used. So again, it's not like the clunking of high hills above you is 20, 30 years ago on the older properties. So the newer properties, the qualities are far greater.
Okay. And we have a question in from somebody also asking about mortgage availability. They are in their 70s, which I know is pushing the upper bracket of that. We had a company on here on a webinar at the weekend called Mortgage Matters, who are exhibiting on our website. But presumably you work with mortgage brokers as well and advise people on finance and availability of finance, do you, Mark?
Spanish banks are happy to lend to foreigners, especially British. They will lend up to 70%, and they will also lend up to 85 in certain cases. So, you know, it's just because you're in your 70s doesn't mean that it's impossible to get a mortgage.
Okay. And yeah, questions coming in thick and fast. Do you want to just give out your direct email address, Mark? Are you happy doing that on screen?
Yeah, I'll put it up there.
We're going to take people. Do you want to read it out to us?
So it's mark@yourdreamhome.es.
mark@yourdreamhome.es. We're also just going to have a quick look over at our exhibition website. So this is the website where we're running all the webinar activity and where you can meet our exhibitors throughout the month. Mark's here exhibiting under the Spain section. Mark has offices down in the Costa del Sol as well as the Costa Blanca. But if you wanted to book a Zoom call with Mark, you would click on here and it would take you to his, oh, sorry, I need to share. It would take you through to his page here, which is the Costa Blanca page for Your Dream Home. And that's the availability where you can book a meeting with Mark. Put in your details here, tick that, press that. I'm all booked in, Mark. You going to show me around? Okay, good. And let's talk a little bit now about property number 2. This is another 2-bedroom apartment, but this one's a bit further south down on the Mar Menor.
So the two areas are very close. So the difference, you're talking about maybe half an hour drive, 25-minute drive between the two different areas. I think the fantastic thing, we opened the office up there 4 years ago. I opened the office there 4 years ago. And there's such a massive difference. You've got some fantastic, you've got the established side of around Olihuela Costa. And then built around 15 years ago was these fantastic golf resorts. So that was built by a company called Polaris World back, as I say, 15, 16 years ago. So the Mar Menor Golf Resort is one of the, in my opinion, is one of the best quality resorts that's there. It's 6 kilometers from a fantastic Spanish town called Los Alcázares, which is located on the Mar Menor. The Mar Menor is famous for its water sports, windsurfing, kite surfing and different things. So it's a fantastic area, great bars and restaurants. The resort has a 5-star spa hotel, but also in the boulevard you have bars and restaurants, Indian, Chinese, Spanish, American diners, everything there. Again, it's been put on, it's a bit of competition for you, but put on the map by Sunsea and something or other.
Selling houses.
Selling houses of an English couple who moved out there and opened a crazy golf with animals and different things. So it's got great facilities for the family, great rentability again. So yeah, a fantastic location. And prices are just incredible. These resorts, there's some fantastic prices. We're selling a lot on these resorts.
Okay, so let's jump in and see property number 2.
It's a commercial area in the Mar Menor Golf Resort. Lots of bars and restaurants, all different types of food. There's an Indian restaurant, there's an Italian, there's a Chinese, typical Spanish. Irish bar, of course, everywhere in the world has an Irish bar. Okay, let's take a look inside these fantastic apartments situated in the Mar Menor Golf Resort. The development is called the Melvins. This is a 2-bedroom. As you see, you walk straight through into the open plan kitchen and living area. And I'll take you out to that fantastic terrace in a moment.
Nice sense of drama there, Mark.
We're selling these properties brand
later.
new on behalf of an investment fund. They're starting as little as €59,000 for a 1-bedroom, which is absolutely incredible. And 2 bedrooms starting at €110,000. And as you can imagine, they really are selling quickly. So this one is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. So there's the guest bathroom. And the guest bedroom. Big size bedrooms. Fully fitted wardrobes. And then through to the master bedroom, which is a terrace, a door leading out onto the terrace. Again, nice, bright, big room. This one's an ensuite bathroom with a bath. Go out to the outside. Fantastic spacious terrace. Space for a couple of sun loungers. Table there with 6 chairs. But just look at that. So the apartments have different views, some with golf and the lake views, and others with the pool area views. I'll take you down to the pool area when we finish in the apartment. But fantastic. Just behind there is the hotel, and we're about a 10-minute walk to where all the bars and restaurants are. 5-10 minute walk. Okay, let's take a look at the pool area and the communal gardens. Beautiful pool area, lots of space around for sunbathing, etc. And then a smaller children's pool here.
Thank you, Mark. Nice explanation there for us. And just to recap, the price on that is, I have 145 here, 145,000 euros or pounds?
145,000 euros. So I've just seen a couple of questions. So somebody's asking, do the 1-beds have balconies? Yes, they do. So there's a limited amount of 1-bedrooms available, and they have 1 or 2 balconies, usually off the living area, one off the bedroom. And again, on the 2 bedrooms are starting from 110,000 euros. So around about £98,000. And again, some with pool views, some with golf views, lake views. So there's different options available.
Okay, that might suit Lindsay Day. She said, I'm looking to buy a holiday home, 1 or 2 beds. I don't have a lot of money, around 50,000 euros. So this one's 59 starting point. Which areas would suit her? Well, I guess more Murcia region if she was looking for something cheaper still, but these are good value for where they are, aren't they?
These are fantastic value for where they are. I mean, the facilities, again, somebody put a question on about a neighbouring resort called Roda Golf, which is about, I don't know, 10 minutes in the opposite direction. Roda is again a fantastic golf course. However, it doesn't have the same facilities as the Mar Menor. The Mar Menor has fantastic facilities. It has lots of different bars and restaurants, whereas Roda only has 1 bar and 1 clubhouse, and that's it.
Okay, and community fees on that development, would they be similar, do you think?
Similar fees, starting around about 80 euros. The community is incredibly well run. It's 24-hour security. You drive in as an owner, you have number plate recognition on your car so that the barriers go up automatically. It's immaculately kept, the gardens, the pool areas.
Okay. And a good question in here actually about the number of apartments in that in the development on both of those. I think you did mention it for the first one. Do you know how many there are in each of those developments? In
this development, I don't know. I think there's about 1,300 dwellings in total on the resort. I need to check that. We had around about 40 units available. These properties are being sold by an investment fund, an American investment fund, who bought them in the crisis and basically sat on them and are now reselling them. So This is almost the last of what we would classify as the bank repossessions. As a company, we got heavily involved with the bank repossessions, as that's when I started the company. So we've got some great, fantastic contacts. And as I say, this is now the final wave of those properties.
Coming to the market, okay. Mia asks a very specific question here. I don't know if you know the answer. What would the policy be on pets? Would somebody be able to have a dog on that complex?
Dogs and cats are allowed. Obviously, dogs need to be kept on a lead when they're in communal areas. But yes, dogs and animals are allowed.
Tom Bridge, no relation of mine, asks about aircon. Would it have aircon, that property?
So these properties are being sold, good fact, these properties are being sold with air conditioning. However, these properties are 10, 12 years old. So the air conditioning is not guaranteed that it's going to be in working condition, but they are being sold with air conditioning and some electrical appliances.
Okay.
But they're not.
And something I mentioned when the film was running there, Tracy Collishaw's picked up on. So they're not directly furnished, but you referred to something called a furniture pack. Can you just explain that for our audience?
A lot of the furniture companies offer what they classify as furniture packs. So again, ranging from a basic pack up to, you know, exclusive and high-end furniture packs where you can literally go to a company and they will furnish everything for you. So from the bedding to the curtains to pictures on the wall to different things.
Okay. Doris Henderson's asking about green fees on the golf course. Do you think you get a discount for being a property owner?
So this golf club is linked to 3 other golf clubs. So you have 4 golf clubs which was built by the Polaris World Group, and they built them. They're Jack Nicklaus courses, and yes, you get discounts on the 4 clubs.
Okay. And very specific here, see how well you know the area. Furniture stores nearby. Well, you've got IKEA in Spain, haven't you? I don't know anything more specific than that. Where would people go shopping if they wanted to furnish their own apartment, do you think?
So you have IKEA, love it or hate it, which is about 40 minutes away. Literally 10 minutes, not even that, 5 minutes down the road is a company called Muebles Murcia, and they're fantastic. That's one of the companies we recommend. Great service. Personal shopper when you go in there to help you with all different aspects.
And welcome Fredrik Svenberg from Sweden. He's asking about local weather. A few people have asked about issues with flooding around Mar Menor. Can you just give us your insight on that, Mark?
The weather is fantastic. So the weather is, and people ask me the difference between the Costa del Sol and the Costa Blanca. There is no difference. The average temperatures are the same. Yes, the area, Los Acapes, was subject to some localized, we had a terrible storm which caused some flooding. I did see somebody mention about Roda. Roda was affected in the garages. This development itself wasn't affected. However, yes, some of the fields around it got flooded and different things. The local ayuntamientos, the local councils are putting in totally different drainage systems and different things to upgrade things in the area in general. The area is very flat, so there was some localized flooding, but as I say, this resort wasn't affected. Yeah,
you're referring to the question there specifically about Roda Golf, wasn't it?
Roda Golf had some problems with some of the garages, but again, they've adapted things and changed things around.
Okay. And somebody asking, what about La Torre Golf Resort? Do you deal with that as a project?
We're selling La Torre. La Torre again is a fantastic golf resort, just located near Terrasses. Difference is it's about 25 minutes away from the coast, so it's a little bit further away from the coast, but again got great facilities. And the only properties that are available there are second-hand properties, resale properties. But yes, we have a good portfolio of properties there.
Okay, very specific questions from Delia about the Mar Menor property. We've covered a couple of them, but let's just make sure that Delia gets the information that they require. Is a direct public transport from Alicante Airport to the Mar Menor?
To the Mar Menor resort, to my knowledge, no. But certainly to places like Los Acapes, they are on public transport facilities.
Yeah, so pretty close, and then you jump in a cab or something. But public transport down to the sea, you referred to it being how far?
It's 6 kilometres down to Los Ocacos, but yes, there is a bus service that runs. The local town is a place called Torre Pacheco, and there's a local bus service that goes from Torre Pacheco, so just outside the resort, down to Los Ocacos.
Okay. And the final question there was, is it a gated community as such? It is.
2 entrances, both with 24-hour security.
Okay. Nilesh Mojaria asks about dealing with solicitors. So you refer people out to independent solicitors, I guess, to do the conveyancing for potential clients?
I think this is the point where it is. Ultimately, clients come and see us. As a company, we do a lot of inspection trips, so we do 3-day tours where people spend 3 days with us so we can do our job properly and show them all different aspects. Part of that service is to introduce them to a local lawyer or solicitor to help them through the process. So we offer different choices, some who are involved in this event, and other local people that we can recommend, and local banks, etc. We would introduce them to.
Okay. And somebody asked, so is it fair to say that both of these developments sit in communities that are very popular with Brits? There's quite a big expat population and community in both these 2 areas.
The Mar Menor is very exclusive in the area. It is, without saying it's not, local people with money live in the Mar Menor, so it's very populated. There's a lot of foreigners who use it as holiday homes. The Scandinavians tend to come down in the winter months, and the UK residents come again, mixture of different times.
Okay, here's one for you. Maureen Range said, I'm a cash buyer. Any flexibility on the prices?
No. These, as with most bank repossessions or properties being sold on behalf of a bank or an investment fund, these prices are agreed by economists and committees. So it's not a case if you can go, okay, fine, I'll offer €1,000 less. It doesn't happen. The prices are fixed. That's what it is, and they're selling. It's not. I mean, we had this week on a different development close by. Again, I mean, we've sold 11 properties in the last week in this particular development under this COVID contract.
And just briefly, I know this is quite an involved question. We covered in more detail about the purchase process. In more normal times when people would be coming out and looking at these properties, just talk us through briefly the flow of funds and the time at which you put down a deposit and the completion. What's involved there? Typically, what sort of time frame are people looking at for that?
The buying a property in Spain is totally different to the UK. So the time frame, the quickest a property can be completed on is 3 days. But predominantly, normally it takes around about 4 weeks. And most people will come for 3 or 4 days, look at different areas, look at different properties. They would then place a deposit with the agent normally, between 3,000 and 6,000 euros, depending on the price of the property. We would introduce them to a lawyer, and you would 9 times out of 10 leave what's called a power of attorney with the lawyer, so that they can act on your behalf, arranging all the checks on the property and obtaining your tax number, your NIE number, which you need to be able to pay the purchase tax on the property. And then it takes around about, as I say, 2 to 3 weeks. Normally, everybody, both sides, legal sides, are ready. But as I say, normally most people have their funds in different places, so they will maybe need to collect their funds into one bank account to send, normally via a currency company, over to their lawyer in Spain for completion. The thing to remember is, once you complete on a property, especially a brand new property, some people make a mistake of saying, okay, we're going to come out straight away. It takes around about 2 weeks after that to get utilities connected, like water and electricity, because we have to get the first water meter to be put in place and the first electricity meter put in place.
Okay, thank you. Susan Tunnicliffe, we might need to point to our website, aplaceinthesun.com, for a wider search. She's asking about a country house or a finca type property in an area I'm not familiar with, actually, Creviente. Does that ring any bells with you, Mark?
Creviente is up near Alicante. Yeah, we've got properties there, and again, it's a bit more specific. We can send you some different properties if you drop us an email or make an inquiry.
Okay, very good. And a few questions coming in. One from Barry Campbell. Just give us some insight into utility costs, would you, Mark? I know they're substantially cheaper than in the UK, but give us your typical outgoings or what the outgoings might be on one of those properties.
If we go on an apartment like that, we have a standard charge on electricity, which is electricity is billed every 2 months. So it's normally around about 25 euros for those 2 months as your standing charge. I mean, like anything. So I would say typically if you're using the property, maybe 60 euros every 2 months for your electricity, 60 euros. Water is very cheap. Again, water is probably only about 150 euros a year in total. Community fees is obviously the other. These properties do actually have gas, mains gas, which is quite unusual in some of the properties. And again, mains gas, I've not particularly ever had mains gas. So again, but again, it's relatively cheap to commodity.
Okay. And just referring back to your previous answer, a follow-up question from Tanya Holt. Do you know how long the NIE number lasts you?
It's forever. So
for life.
For life.
Somebody is interested in sea view apartments. If you're looking for a sea view, direct sea view apartment, then you're talking a significantly different budget, aren't you, Mark?
Again, unfortunately, we couldn't get the video together, but one of the other properties we was going to show was a property down in a place called Puerto de Mazaron. So in the Puerto de Mazaron, we have front line to the beach, 3-bedroom apartments from as little as 159,000 euros. So you can, again, in different areas, different properties.
Where are we looking here, Mark? Further down or?
You need to go back to sharing, Andy.
Oh, I do. Doesn't take much to throw me. So this is the Villa Martin apartment. Here we've been down to the Mar Menor.
So come down to Cartagena and then come across towards Almeria, and you will see a place called Puerto de Mazaron.
Yeah, there we are. So what sort of pricing and availability is there down there currently, Mark?
So Puerto de Mazaron is a fantastic. I think it's a bit of a hidden gem in the Costa Calida region. Fantastic all year round life. So for as little as 159,000 euros, you can get a 3-bedroom ground floor apartment, literally 20 meters from the sea. And again, very unspoilt beaches. Walking into the port itself is about 20 minutes. Nearest bars are around about 2-minute walk away. So again, a fantastic location.
And what about properties away from a community as such? We've got an anonymous question from someone saying they don't want to be on top of others in a development, but they're interested in Los Alcázares, Mar Menor area, but anything really from Elche down to Cartagena.
I mean, Los Alcázares is fantastic, and again, in Los Alcázares you can find properties for as little as 60,000 euros. You know, walking distance to the beach, walking distance to the town centre. Older style Spanish properties, predominantly without communal pool areas, but then they have 0 community fees because they don't have the same facilities to hand.
Okay, and a question in from Brendan Coffey about a specific development down in Mazaron, Alamillo. Are you familiar with that one?
I am indeed. Brendan bought the property from us down in Mazaron, so he has a fantastic frontline beach, 3-bedroom penthouse apartment, which is completing this month. And yeah, the prices are continuing. You know, nothing has changed within the marketplace. The great thing is the builders have continued to build. So we have a lot of key ready things in our properties now that's available. But we have, the market is, I seriously believe once the restrictions are lifted, it will be as buoyant a market as it was beforehand. And it's supply and demand, you know, the demand is certainly there.
Okay, I think a final question here from Ruth. Do you cover Mil Palmeras?
We do.
You do. So again, she should contact you for interest in that. So yeah, a couple of other questions about wider market conditions and predictions for 2021. So again, your you're reasonably optimistic once we can get these dreaded quarantine restrictions out of the way.
It hasn't stopped people's desire. I think it's actually increased people's desire. I mean, we've got a client that's bought in the Marmanor. The company he works for, he's going to now work from home, so he's going to spend more time working from home. And if he's working from home, why doesn't he work from Spain? Totally different lifestyle, but it doesn't matter. People working remotely. So the demand is certainly there. The prices are not changing. The availability, as I say, we had another development which is now sold out, which was from an investment fund. So these properties are the last of these properties coming through. A resale in the Marmanor, you can look up to 180,000 euros for a resale property. So going back forward into 2021, I think the market is going to be stronger than ever from all different nationalities.
Okay, well, let's see what our healthy audience, our healthy turnout. I don't know how healthy you are. Let's hope you're healthy. Let's see what people's view is of these two properties and launch a quick poll. So, Mark has kindly taken us round two properties today. We have the 2-bed, 2-bath apartment in Villa Martin at 159,000 euros, and we have the 2-bed apartment in Marmanor Golf. That was 2-bath as well, was it, Mark?
Yes.
It was as well. So let's say you've got 160,000. You get to keep the change if you go for the cheaper one. So choose a property. Which one of those is your favourite? Give people just a moment to say which one they prefer. Jumping up and down a bit. Oh, lots of people piling in here. We had 52-48 for a moment. Oh, well, look at this. This is terribly diplomatic. So we've got 50-50, an exact 50-50 split. I should say for people watching this on our catch-up service on demand on our website that sadly, Zoom has not managed to show these polls, so it doesn't appear on the recording. So don't think we're going crazy talking about a poll that you can't see. It is not visible on the recording, and for that we apologize. So these recordings will appear on our hub page on aplaceinthesунdigital.co.uk. This one should be up tomorrow. We have a bunch of other videos that we've been recording earlier in the month as well. They're all up there now. And yeah, the only thing to do is thank Mark. That's been really interesting, Mark. Thank you for your insight. That was Whistle Stop Tour. I know you've got a wide portfolio of properties, and let's just show where people can contact you again. I shall remember to share the screen this time. Over here, and it's Your Dream Home over on our Meet Our Exhibitors page, which is here, and you see all the exhibitors listed under country here, and you have Your Dream Home Costa Blanca, Your Dream Home Costa del Sol. This is our webinar program. We're just in the process of putting up all our webinars for next week, for week 3 of September. And this is the one we have ongoing now. We have a reunited video film on Saturday morning. That's Jasmine meeting people who've been on the TV show. We have footage of the original program from 3 years ago. And right down at the bottom of this page is where you'll find the recordings going up in our on-demand sessions. So if you've missed any of the webinars, that's where you can catch up with them. That's it. Thank you for attending. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your interest. Goodbye from me and from Mark.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you.